Disclaimer, buckle up. This episode of Three Friends and All the Things is packed with foul language, inappropriate comments, and even some streaking. If that's your jam, then welcome to the circus. Let the shenanigans begin.
You shut off the lights and it's just this like Annabelle doll just sitting there.
I look like Annabelle. Oh, really?
Turn the lights off again. Look at that. That's scary as shit. Yeah. You look like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yo, are you able to hear me from here?
Yeah.
Barely.
Barely.
Yeah.
How about now?
Okay. So I'm Jay.
Are you recording this? Oh, shit, you are.
Hi. Welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast. I'm Jay.
I'm Kris.
And I'm Dave.
And we're welcoming Dave to the podcast forum and our group. Dave will be joining us on every episode of Three Friends and All the Things. He's our new wonderful co-host. Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and anything else that you can think of that's important.
Born and raised in Winslow Township. Went to Edgewood. Now Winslow. Was a 4-year wrestler. Okay student. Did 1 year of college. I now work for a utility. And 4 kids on my second marriage. Found the love of my life on my second time around.
Yay!
And all my kids, and I'm almost an empty nester. So I got one more. It's a junior in high school. He's got 1 more year left, and everybody else is out the door.
Great.
Nice.
Great. Well, Dave, we are so happy you're with us. I've known you
very excited that you're here.
God, all my life, 30, 40 years at this point.
Yeah.
You older than me? You're older than me, right?
52.
Yeah, you're way older than me. Yep.
I'm an old fart.
Yep, old fart with a cool hat.
I'm gonna be technically I'm gonna be a grandfather any minute, but that's my stepdaughter's having her first.
Oh, congratulations.
They won't be calling me Pop-Up or grandma calling me Chief.
Well, I'm calling you Pop-Up, so there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're welcoming Pop-Up to the podcast of Three Friends and All the Things.
Poppy.
Everybody, drop a line. Let's congratulate Dave. It was a grueling process to get him on as co-host. Thousands of applicants, and he just barely made it. Pop-Up. So thank you.
Sweet Jesus, help me.
Welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast, the show where filters go to die, opinions fly free, and laughter is basically a full-time job. They're not here to solve the world's problems. They are here just to make each other laugh and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. This is Three Friends and All the Things podcast, real talk for real people.
Let me ask you guys a question. Like, if you had to pick like your childhood dream, what would it be? Like as a job? Like what was it like you ran around and you said, I wanted to be Indiana Jones. I did. I wanted to be like that's so cool. Like go around the world, you chase, things.
I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
Professional baseball player? Okay. Kris, what did you want to be?
I think at one point I actually wanted to be a bus driver.
Wow.
That was when I was little, though.
Aspirations are high. I get it.
Yeah. But then as I got older, I wanted to be a lawyer until Dot was like, your father and I will pay for college, but we're not paying for law school. And then I was like, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, you could definitely talk the witness into submission. No.
Damn, that's...
But now if you ask me, I'd want to be like a CSI, like criminal forensic person. You know?
Like Indiana Jones.
I like
forensics.
Police.
Yeah.
That's archaeology. That's not forensics.
I actually thought about being a cop at one point before I got into the utility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see you being a cop.
Yeah. My dad said that.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast, where we talk about nothing really. What do we do? What are we talking about today?
Customer service.
Customer service and
So
tipping.
good.
And
That is so
tipping.
and tipping. Well, that's part of customer service because if you have good customer
Right.
service, you get tipped. And hopefully it's not the kind of tip where it says, don't eat the yellow snow. That is some type of monetary thing.
Or you get the ones that go, I got a tip. Don't quit your day job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Whatever you do on top of this job, do something else. Right. No, I
right.
got it. I got it. I got it. So first let's do customer service because customer service is all over, right?
Mhm.
In every store, every time we get a beautiful solicitation over the phone by solar, whatever it may be.
Jay's
What
favorite phone calls.
It's one of my favorite as
Yeah,
this
he loves them.
podcast. Yeah, this
Mhm.
podcast has heard many a times. So what do you think has changed with customer service in today's world versus, I don't know, us growing up, our parents dealing
Oh,
with customer
well,
service?
let me tell you, I can start this off. Let me tell you
I
something.
don't think we have a choice, but go ahead. Yeah.
No, you don't. So I used to waitress at the retirement home in Acco, the assisted living when it was called Harvest Village. I don't what's it called now? The Fountains at
Mountains,
Park
yeah.
View or whatever
Yeah.
the hell, right?
Way to give him a free plug, but go ahead.
Right. And so whoops. And so I did it in high school, whatever. That's fine. And
Are we still talking
we
about waitressing?
yeah.
Okay.
Jay?
That was real slow.
Dude, my mom watches this. Listen, shoosh.
Went over so smooth.
I have
I
an
know,
earbud.
I know.
I have a little
Took me
earbud
a
in my
minute.
ear, and Dot's just like, say this.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. So when I was waitressing, there was always the rule. You drop off on the left and pick up on the right. Right? So you drop the food off and you place it in front of the person on the left. And then when you go to collect the plates, when they're done, you pick it up from the right. And now I notice that waitresses, if you're at if you're in a booth, that's one thing. You got to reach over. I get it. But if you're at a table, the waitress, if you noticed, does not really or waiter does not walk around the table. And when
You
they
mean
do,
nowadays? You mean nowadays?
correct,
Right.
correct. And so now it's like they just reach over in front of you. They put the stuff down. We would have been written up if that happened. That's number one, right? Number two is there's no common sense. How many times have you gone to a drive-thru and you're like, oh, can I have, 4 drinks, whatever it is? And they're literally hanging out the window, handing you drink by drink by drink. And you're like, can I have a carrier? And they look at you like you have 3 heads. Oh, okay.
Well, and it's always the Lethal Weapon 2 thing with Leo Getz where he says they F you at the drive-in. They F you at the drive-in.
Yeah.
But
I mean, am I
agree.
wrong? Am I wrong in that?
No. And then when they look at you, it's more like, I can't believe you're asking me that. Now it's like, they got to do double the work, God forbid.
Right.
Then they want to cock an attitude with you.
Right.
I find also that anything with counting change is ridiculous. Like if they have to give out change now, it's just not happening. They're like,
I watched somebody use a
Why?
calculator the other day to count out
yeah,
change.
they don't know how to do change.
Yeah.
It's like cursive handwriting.
And you know how they would always have the give a penny, take a penny thing? Say if you have extra change, put the money in, right? And so how many times have you gone somewhere and it's it's 95 cents.
Yeah, $5.02.
Right? Yeah. And you're like, oh, well, I'll just give them $1.05 because I want a dime back, whatever, right? And they literally look at you and they're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, you just threw them a curveball when you did that.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Now they're like, holy cow, I need a college degree to figure that out.
They're like, you gave me too much money. No, what I'm asking is I want, or you give them you overpay them. So you get, $1 back or $2, whatever it is, right? They look at you and they're, oh, you overpaid us. Okay.
They want to give it back to you.
I also think because of the generations, they're so very entitled, and it kind of goes right into the tipping thing. They could give you the worst service in the world, they can tell you to bite a big one and still expect a 20% tip at the end of that. Now,
And that's the problem. They expect.
I was going to say it's almost expected anymore. Like my mom was a waitress for 35 years at Mr. Bill's custard stand. She was manager and head waitress there. And I used to ask her all the time, like, what's proper tip? Like, because when I go there to eat something, she'd have her other waitresses be there. And she's like, give them minimum 10%. No more than that, 10%. And now it's up to 15. I know a lot of people give 20.
yeah,
I stick with the basic. I go 15% unless they go above and beyond. And they make my visit well worth it. Like, I don't believe in, we just give them 20% because like they're doing a job, like they're doing a service. I understand that, but the job that they have is to provide us a service. They're supposed to make first of all, I'm paying a lot of money for the dinner I'm eating. So if I'm going to pay that, in my opinion, you're not entitled to 20%. First of all, most of your restaurants, unless it's like a 5-star restaurant that you're going out for a special occasion, you go to a regular restaurant. I don't know, like let's just go pizza place, say for instance, and they have waitresses there. They think that, first of all, most of the pizza in this area is overpriced. So when you go there, I know there's a couple local places right down the street from me. I go there, I'm paying an arm and a leg for pizza. Yeah. And they just automatically think, well, I'm going to get tipped. Or the delivery guy comes and they give you a delivery charge on top of now I got to tip them.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? I'm not. I argue with my wife all the time. Like, I'm not tipping them. I just paid like $5 charge to deliver it.
That's like that's a whole other thing too. That's like DoorDash, or if you get something like groceries brought in from a supermarket, if you don't catch it, they're automatically putting that.
They're putting a tip in there.
Right. So if you're paying for groceries $200-$300, they're getting a great tip. For what? Taking
and what
the bags
if you don't
out,
catch that extra money and you give them a tip on top of that?
Plus a delivery charge. You're paying like $10 extra for a delivery charge to Walmart or whatever it is. But so if you don't catch it, I think DoorDash is the worst at it, because if you don't catch it, it really jacks it up. So I always feel like you need, like Dave said, you need to earn that tip. You can always tell when a waitress is, are you okay? You let me fill up your water, let me, whatever, throw on top of it. And then you could always tell, like, there have been times where I've had lousy service and I've looked around and realized that woman had too many tables and she still deserved a good tip.
Right. She was busy and she was hustling.
Right. Like
I don't hold that against them. Like, if they're not getting back to me to refill my drink or whatever it is I need, if they're hustling, they got a bunch of tables, I'm not holding that against them. I'm still going to give them the tip.
I'm not holding that against them either. Not at all. And I feel like, a lot like today it's more like, well, we deserve it. Like, tip is part of their salary or part of their wage. And it's just not. And I think everybody has become too pushy. We just had a guy, I know this is a little bit different, but it's still customer service. The people who walk around and do solar.
Yeah,
we get them all the time, and I don't understand. So this guy knocks on the door, and he's got a very official uniform on, which is weird. And he goes, "Hey, did you guys?" It was me and my wife, and he's like, "Did you guys hear what happened a few months ago with your power grid?" And I said, "Oh, no, what happened?" And he said, "Cost a lot of money. Like, your rates have gone up." I said, "Our rates have been going up for 2 years now. What are you getting at?" I said, "Are you selling us something?" No. I'm with the government, and we're trying to get that fixed. What is it? The generator on top of the pole? I forget what they call it. Transformer, yeah. So the transformer
more than meets the eye.
Right. And he's like, big problem with it. I can't believe you guys didn't know. Everybody in the neighborhood was affected by it, and now they're raising your rates because you have to draw more power. And I said, and I said it again, "Are you selling us something?" And he goes, "No. But, with your rates going up, we can lower them." I said, "It sounds like you're selling something." So this went on for a good 5 minutes. 5 minutes of my life. And I finally had to look at him and I said, "Stop. We don't want anything." And he kept going. Now, this isn't a phone call from Bangladesh, and they're not trying to sell me Part A or Part B of Medicaid or Medicare, right? This is a guy in my house officially dressed saying he's with the government to sell solar. All right, now you need to go because you're way pushy. And I just feel like people think sales talk is pushy. Sales talk is actually building a relationship with your customers, whether it's in a short span or a long span. Like, what do you guys feel about that? Like when you hit those markers with salespeople?
When you get like salespeople that are, I call them pushy, but it's just like a car salesman. When you go to a used car lot or a regular car lot, they want to sell you everything under the sun except for what you're there to buy. I've never had an experience where I walked into a used car lot or a new car lot where the person says, "Hey, listen, what are you here for?" And I tell them, they're like, "Oh, well, I got your thing right over here. This is the car you're looking for." And they show it to me, and it's actually what I asked for.
Right.
I've yet to see that. So, and to build in off of the customer service part of it, as far as the waitressing goes and the wait tours go, I went overseas last year, and we went to Paris, and we went into first of all, you hear all the rumors of the French hate us. The French hate us. We go over there.
Did you get croissant?
Yes, we did. We got croissants. That was one of the reasons why we went in there, because my wife didn't think about it. So we get in there, and that's the first thing she asked for. The waiter comes over, says, "How can I help you guys?" Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, "Oh, I want a croissant." He goes, "Oh, we're out of croissants today." And
I had that happen to me too.
Had this horrible attitude. So she goes to the bathroom. She orders something different. While I'm sitting there, this guy who's waiting on us goes to another table, and those people asked for a croissant. He got them all croissants. After he told us they didn't have any. So I started laughing. I'm like, this guy. So as time went on, we got other stuff. We didn't make an issue. We got other stuff. And at the end of the lunch we had, the guy
Dave yelled, "I want French fries and a croissant."
Let me tell you. Let me just tell you. So Jennifer tips him, and he was all happy because she tipped him 20%. She gave him 20%. He loved it. And then he moved on to apologize to us for having an attitude. And he went on to explain the reason he had that attitude was because in their regular workday, it's not as chaotic. But as soon as the United States tourists come in, we're so 90 miles an hour, it makes their life chaotic, and they get crazy. And the next thing you know, they're stressed out of their mind, and they're all mad. And they're like, "These people are nuts." And he apologized to me and my wife, and he's like, "Listen, we don't have any croissants now, but there is a place right out front here and get you 2 free ones to go." And he got us 2 free
Get
ones.
croissants. Love it. Love the idea.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's a perfect example. Like my wife believes in 20% all the time, where me, I would have been like, "I ain't tipping him jack."
Well, you bring up a good point. Like, so is it 20% everywhere in the world when you go out?
No, because there's not tipping everywhere in the world.
No, and I think that's just something that is in play here. I think that's something that we have instilled in the people in this country.
Okay, so let me lay this out for you, right? And I think they really need to do it here, right? When I moved to Australia, I was like, why is everything so expensive? Like, everything is so expensive, right?
Did you get
Go out to dinner?
There?
Very shitty ones. Yeah, you could, but I mean, and you know what else they don't have? They don't have
kangaroo meat.
No, well, yeah, they do. But
what
are the croissants that you get in the grocery store, and you have to unwrap it, and then it pops and scares the hell out of you every single time?
Right, and it's really dry inside. Yeah,
you're an idiot.
They have a scone. They have scones here, and they also have the ones you're talking about, the Pillsbury ones, where you pull the wrapper
Pillsbury,
off.
That's it, right? So they don't even have Pillsbury ones, right? But they have scones, or as the Australians say, scones. Anyway, when you go out to dinner, you look and you're like, you get a steak and you get, all the stuff, your sides and whatever. And, if you go and you get a steak here and, okay, what would you guys say would be an average price for like a decent steak?
Here?
Yeah.
I'd say probably somewhere around the 30
bucks. Yes, 30 to
Okay.
40 bucks.
That's
Okay.
like a decent steak. Like if you're wanting real top notch, then you're gonna pay like 50.
Yeah, you're paying 50,
Right.
50
Okay.
to 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go around the $30 mark, right, to get a good steak, right? So you go here, you go out to dinner, you get a steak, you get your sides, blah blah blah. By the end of it, you're talking maybe like, with tip, you're talking maybe, I don't know, $50, whatever, depending on how good the steak is and like, what is included. I go to Australia, the dinner is like $45, and I'm like, what the hell? Because they pay their servers they pay their servers a wage. There's no tipping. So I worked out after I was there for a while. I'm like, why is everything so expensive? Because they don't do tipping. So they pay their servers a higher amount of money, and that is their job.
So is that like what they do here when they automatically include?
There are some restaurants that do include that here. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know. Well, I can tell you one. There was one back in the day. You remember Ponderosa?
That was a great salad
bar. I
bar.
know that because I used to work there. I was a dishwasher, and when I started inquiring about being a waiter, they told me, well, you don't get tipped because you get paid a higher wage. So
right.
the tips you can figure
right.
out.
My sister was a waitress there for years.
Yeah. So overseas, depending on where you are, you don't pay a tip because they're paying their servers a higher rate of pay, and it's already included. So you can just pay your bill and you walk out. You don't have to leave a tip. If you want to, you can. It's not frowned upon, but you don't have to. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's a serious question.
Okay.
So tipping, yes, it definitely is in the food industry.
Oh, Christ.
But what about strippers?
Here we go.
I'm just curious. Like, do they pay them more too? Is there like lollipops involved?
I don't think they get a salary. I think that's all based off of what they do.
When the Americans come in, are they rushing around and all stressed out too?
Well,
wait, time out for 1 second. I forgot to go over this. Lori, the producer and fashionista, made me put a different hat on every.
I like it.
Yeah.
So this is the Halloween one.
I can't see because the glare from your head, but
there's
I like
the
that.
Halloween one. So that's the new one.
Okay.
Just
each episode will be a different one. I got about 50 of them. So.
Okay. So let's go back to strippers.
I'm being serious when I'm talking about the strippers.
Well, let me tell you, lingerie is expensive, and those girls, and so is the gym. So the girls have to work out, I'm sure, and they have to go and they have to buy lingerie and perfume, and like that is expensive. So whether or not a stripper is going to get tipped,
heels.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, well, you can buy stripper heels at like
pole dancing lessons
stores. Well, there's all that. I mean, I don't know.
Do they have tryouts for that?
It's not cheerleading, Dave. I don't know. Maybe in France it is. But like, I mean, I'm serious. Like, do you walk in? Or they like, hey, it's instead of the $20 cover charge, it's $50.
Took a terrible turn.
Yeah. It's about customer service, Chris.
Real bad.
I know. Hey, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I've been to strip joints several times.
At a strip club, I give you $1. You do something more, I give you $20.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Sometimes there's a shower involved. That's weird, but it happens. Someone told me that. All right.
But here's the thing. You can't touch the strippers.
Well, you're
not allowed to touch them.
In some areas, what is it? I think it's PA. You're allowed to touch from weirdly the waist down, I think, or something like that. I don't know, but
really,
in Pennsylvania, you're allowed to touch as long as they have clothes on. I think it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Clothes.
Oh, I got a story about strippers. I got a really good story about strippers.
Is this related to customer service?
It could be.
Let's stay on track.
Actually, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So many moons ago, my best friend was getting married, and
she's going to say it was a stripper, but go ahead.
No, she's not a stripper. Anyway,
right.
We went for her bachelorette party, we went to a strip club in Canada. And my one girlfriend was sitting there, and she's like, can you turn around for a minute? And I'm like,
she came on the horse.
No, I'm like, why you're asking me this, you're asking me in a really weird way. Why do I want to And she's like, yeah, just turn around. And we're getting drinks, alcoholic beverages, which, different states have different laws and whatnot. And I turn around, clearly at a male strip joint. I turn around and there's the stripper leaning up against the bar, buck naked. I'm like, oh my God, literally hanging out.
Okay.
Hanging out.
Haven't
The
been to
Franks
enough
and
strip
Beans.
clubs.
No, the Franks and Beans were hanging out. It was swinging in the wind. No, he was swinging in the wind, and I'm
All right,
like,
Kris,
oh my God.
I need to bring you back, friend. Where is the customer
So-
service? Did he hand you something? Was there a tray on top of it? Like what?
No, there wasn't a tray on top of it, but he did bring drinks over, and I was like, wow, I don't know if I should drink this because, like,
You got the special sauce.
I was a little worried, and I was like, yeah, I think we're not gonna have anything to drink. I found out in Canada that the law was you were allowed to serve alcohol and be completely nude. I did not know
Wow.
that. And I know in other places there are, the girls can be completely naked, but you're not allowed to serve alcohol, or they have to be dressed and you can serve alcohol. However, I think it's all about how you present. I'm trying to bring this back to customer service. It's all about how you present yourself. Do you want to tip the girl, like if she's bringing you a juice box?
I asked a legitimate question. I asked a legitimate question.
You started this.
Yeah,
Right.
You really made this thing take a left-hand turn, bro.
Right. But
Holy moly.
But I was keeping it
I don't know that you
customer
can recoup
service because
that.
I was
I
going to
think
say
we're way out there now. I think
I was
customer
going to say
service is really
strippers
difficult.
gets tips, but like if you start thinking about it, like how does hairdressers work? Not that they're the same as strippers, although some can be sometimes because they have dual jobs. But like hairdressers tipping that, like have you guys ever had a bad hairdresser? Have you ever had a bad haircut and you're like that's horrible, and they still
I had
expect a tip?
bangs that made me look like Lloyd Christmas
every day.
Yeah,
No, yours is good. I had bangs that made me look like Lloyd Christmas.
Like
I
if
am
they
not
screw
kidding
up your haircut, Dave, like there's blood involved, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've had bad hairdressers. But and I tipped them because I felt obligated, whatever. Clearly I have not been to a hairdresser.
I don't know. Jay, you've been to Glenn's, right?
No.
You never been to Glenn's in Atco?
Mm-mm.
Or it's really Cedarbrook, right on the 73, Glenn's Barbershop. Been there forever. I used to get her from a haircut during wrestle season. I used to tip him. I think haircuts then were like $10-15, and we tipped him $5.
That was a whole other thing. Like haircuts back then, you just gave them like an extra $5 or whatever. Yeah. Like even
how much is a guy's haircut now?
It's
20,
like 20, 25.
So my sons get theirs cut, and they're 20. Are they 20? No, I'm sorry, they're 15.
I pay
some places are 20 though.
I pay 23, and they do the hot. It's all part of it where they put the hot shaving cream on the back and straight edge it all the way up and do a little trim.
Oh, I was on a cruise and mine cost $150. Facial, they do like the shaving and the shaving your head.
Well, the big thing now is like if you go to a real barber shop, like they're like $60 because you're gonna get the full shave and the straight edge and the this and the that. I mean, that's good customer service, but then that's actually an excellent point too, because we're talking about stuff that they barbers used to do anyway, and now it's considered extra and more expensive. So I think I think that's something that's interesting. I think on the customer service end, cashiers, right? You don't tip them. They take a beating, and yet we want to turn around and put those automated things in where people lose their jobs.
And what about the people that stand at the end of the you have the cashier, but then you have like the bag person? Do you guys have the bag people still?
We used to.
Some of our grocery stores still have the baggers, and we don't tip them.
Well, ShopRite has them, but they're like, because my son works there, so it's like every so often they'll put one person, and they'll basically walk from cash register to cash register and say to the customer, would you like your groceries bagged for you? And if they do, usually I'm gonna have to check with him, but I'm pretty sure they get it. Somebody will tip you if you don't. If you want it done, you don't have to get it done.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think that, well, I mean, like Walmart, I know they went away and only had like 1 or 2 cashiers. And then they went to the all automated thing, and then they're slowly switching back. Because I think I guess they were lacking in the customer service end. I don't know, but like that's one of those thankless customer service jobs too, as a cashier.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why are you talking?
But
Oh my God, you're still talking. And then you get the old ladies at Walmart who are just trying to, live a life, and they're just going on and on.
but
But I-
then talking about, cashiers, if you go through like the Starbucks drive-through and, you go to pay, they're like, "Oh, you have to answer a question before you can tap your card." And that question is, "Do you want to leave a tip?" For what? What am I leaving you a tip for? I ordered a coffee, I drove up, you handed it to me. Okay, you made it. That's your job. It's not like I was getting food. It's not like I was in the restaurant. I have a little bit of a problem with that.
is that, you think that's the same as like you walk into, I don't know, a pizza shop. Let's just take a pizza shop, right? And everybody's slinging dough, and you have the cashier up front, and she comes up, and right next to her is a jar that says "tips, please." Like, do you think that's the same thing? Because did we ever used to tip them,
No.
cashiers?
No.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not
No.
a horrible idea, but I would think that
I think a lot of
price-wise-
times you see, like with the pizza places, I've noticed, like you'll have the kids that are in high school and they're working there part time or whatever in the summertime. I think a lot of times the owners, usually the owner's the guy cooking the pizza most of the time. So I think the owners for the kids will put up a little tip jar if they're being nice and polite to you and helping you get your order together and stuff like that. You get somebody who's getting like, how it is. If somebody pays cash and they're getting like, it's $28 and some odd cents. You're getting $2 or like $1 or something in change back. Instead of keeping it, they'll just throw it in a tip jar. Because it's like, I don't feel like carrying those $2.
Right.
And at the end of the night or the end of the week, maybe I don't know how they do it, but maybe at the end of the week they divvy it all up. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I know when I used to waitress and we got tips, we would the servers would get tips, but then we would have to divide it up with the bus boys and the dishwashers.
Right, they get
and,
a certain percentage of your tip.
They got a certain percentage, and we had to divide it up. And that's fine because just because they're not out there serving the tables doesn't mean that they don't deserve it. But when you go through a drive-through and you're like, "Oh, I'd like to have a Coke from McDonald's, please," and you roll up to go pay for it, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, do you want to leave a tip?" No.
Yeah, because you got to think that's one of those jobs where, because it's not like a tipping job generally, that their wage kind of compensates for that.
Right.
You would think.
And don't get me
Right.
wrong. Don't get me
Thank you.
wrong. I like to tip. If you do the work, I will tip.
Yeah,
I
like
don't-
if you
doesn't
walk
bother
into
me.
an ice cream parlor and they got one of those jars there and it's crowded and those kids are running around in the back, they're there just for the summer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you where, like, if you guys ever, I don't know if you've been on a cruise, but if you ever do a cruise, I went and did transatlantic cruise last year. And while I was there, my first night there, first thing I did was
Was it on the Titanic?
Was it strippers?
No.
Was it strippers on the Titanic?
Talk about a bitch going down.
Yes. Oh, wow. And he hasn't changed and he hasn't missed a beat. Holy shit. So anyway, first thing I did was I found a young waiter from
Uh-oh.
Colombia.
This is getting
Colombia.
saucy.
All right, let's go.
I tipped him $100. I said, "Here's $100 for the week." Remember,
A
who
lot
I
of
am.
people do that too.
Remember
when
my
they-
wife.
Yeah.
And remember the drink I want. And that kid did not miss a beat. And me and my wife are friends with him on Facebook to this day. And we're actually going on a boat that he's going to be on in next November. We're taking another transatlantic cruise, and he's going to be on that boat. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to find him, tip him, and he'll take. And their biggest thing is customer service because they're on the boat with you for the entire time.
Right.
They're there. Their job is to make you happy and make sure you're laughing and having a good time.
Now, speaking of that, because we are going on a cruise and we bought the package, the drinks package, and it takes care of all the tipping.
Yeah, it's all included when you pay.
So, right. Do you think that it kind of evens out where if you pay for the drinks package, and the tips are included? Because I've never been on a cruise before, so I'm not really sure how this works. if you're paying for the package and it has the tips included, does that even out as though like, as though you're going meal to meal or bar to bar and you're getting drinks and then throwing some cash on the bar for them? Like, does it all even out in the end? Like, I'm not really sure.
It does. I think they hit you with a big enough surcharge that it does, because I'm going to be honest, like if you get the unlimited liquor package, like where you get there's 2 levels, there's like the mid level and there's the top shelf where you get whatever you want. I could tell you this, right? When we first did it, I was like, oh, dude, this is great. I'm going to drink every day. I'm going to drink every day. I'm going to have something in my gut every day. And that's no further from the truth, because you have a couple drinks the first night and you're like, yeah, I can skip tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're making out, because you're not actually going to get all the liquor that you paid for in the price.
Right.
And some of that money that they charge for the liquor, there's also water package. There's also a soda package. Like
right.
all those packages, they have tip money already built into the cost that you're paying.
I thought they might. Yeah. Yeah. Because they said, oh, all the tipping's included. So I'm like, it's got to be built in there somewhere. But like you're saying, you're not going to be spending, you're not going to be drinking the amount that you're spending for it, but it kind of alleviates you having to carry the cash or give the extra tip or, whatever it is. And some of it depending on what package you go with, it's the difference between, well drinks and top shelf, like whatever. But even though we paid for that, if we get a good server, I'll probably throw some extra money towards them, if they're like, on top of their game and, paying attention and doing what they should be doing, that's all great. But if you go out and you get a waitress, like we went out to dinner the other night and this waitress, she wasn't writing anything down. We asked for a Coke, a Jack and Diet Coke, and I think like a Pellegrino water, right? And she's like, oh, well, we don't have Pellegrino, but we have soda water, or we have club soda, which I think it's all the same thing. I don't know if there's a difference between whatever.
I don't want my
carbonated
water in it, right?
Yeah, it's carbonated water, whatever. And 4 times she had to ask, oh, so I'm sorry, what are you getting? I'm like, I just want a regular Coke. That's all I want. And she's like, oh, and what are you getting? A Jack and Diet Coke. And she's like, okay, literally a pen and paper in her hand and wouldn't write it down, but stood there and asked 4 times. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with this kid? Seriously. Well, what is wrong with you?
it's that's just a lack of caring about their job. And I mean, that's a whole other
be honest with you, if you ask me, I think that's got a little bit of parenting involved there too, because your parents ain't.
Yeah, possibly, but like I find that a lot of the younger generation don't take their jobs seriously, no matter what their jobs are.
Right.
So, like even you could take what I don't want to say like the lowest form of job, but no matter what the job is, you're obviously being hired to do a job, number one, and you're being hired by your boss to do it because you're needed to do it. So he expects you to do it so no one else is doing it.
Right.
So, like when you kind of put that in perspective. Yeah. Now, Dave, back to you. When you go on a cruise and you give a little Colombian kid cash up front. I'm not done.
Took it down Pittsburgh real quick.
I'm not done yet. And he doesn't do a good job for you or your wife. That sounds worse, but
it does.
Then what happens? You can't ask for that money back. I mean, I think it's a good idea. Give them to up front, give motivation for the week.
I'll be honest with you,
a little bit more.
I didn't do that on my first cruise. What I did was I felt it out first, kind of seeing how things were and how they play out, and I kind of feel my way around to looking. I look at which waiters are very attentive. They're always coming back to the customers and making sure the customers are being taken care of and getting their drinks and get whatever they need. So the one thing that made me kind of key on him is I watched him go to the same guy like 5 times. Every time the guy needed something, and he was right on top of the guy. And then I was in one part of the boat. He happened to be walking through with his thing. He saw me and my wife sitting there. He goes, "Oh, Mr. Dave, what can I get you?" And he come running right over to us. Like, wasn't even in where he was. And he wound up grabbing me a drink there and bringing it over.
And I think it's all about the training too, because I think on the cruise ship, you have a standard that you have to meet in order for you to have that job.
Yeah,
right? So you
they
have to be
definitely have
attentive.
high standards.
You know,
Yeah.
you have to you have a very high standard to live up to, you know. But I also think the way you present yourself in everyday life is also customer service. Are you a mean person? Or are you a nice person? Are you sarcastic and funny? Or are you a jokester? Like, that is also customer service to me, how you carry yourself, you know, because that's going to tell somebody whether or not they should hire you. You know, are you polite? Are you, you know, you can read through people too. Like, you can tell if they're
Well,
fake,
I
you can
think
tell if they're, you know, if they're genuine. And that could be the hit or miss on whether or not you get a job.
every job too there's customer service in it, right? Like whether
Mm-hmm.
you're in healthcare, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have basically customer service towards the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just towards the patient, but towards the family as well.
Correct.
If you're a first responder, when you're dealing with the owners of whatever property you're dealing with, accident or whatever, you've got to be customer service. You can't be militant. You can't be. So I do feel customer service is all the way around, especially at work. Even if you pick up the phone, and say you're just picking up the phone because you're helping out, lots of phone calls,
Mm-hmm.
that you're still the first person that other person on the other end's hearing. You're a representative. Yeah, and I think on some level people forget, um when talking to other people, that it's a little bit like customer service. You're putting your best foot forward to
Mm-hmm.
say, so that they say, "Oh, Jay's a nice guy. I met him. It was brief, but really nice."
Mm-hmm.
So I think customer service is all the way around. I think tipping is an art that you have to earn, that I think people forgot they had to earn, because
Mm-hmm.
in this society we're just taught
Everybody
it's
gets a
given in.
trophy. Everybody gets a tip. No matter how
Everybody gets a
big you
tip,
are.
like a participation trophy. Yup, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you need to earn it. Like, you need to go out there and you earn it. I'm not saying you have to, like, you know, bleed and be like slave labor or anything like that, but
Right, like the
you
little
know,
Colombian kid, right?
right. Yeah, that Dave apparently gives money to, you know,
Right,
on the
for his
side.
wife.
For
Right.
his wife, yeah.
Yep.
So no, I think, you know, if you're a waitress, a waiter, if it doesn't matter what job you're in, you've got to put your best foot forward, like Jay said, and you have to be professional, and you have to be, you know, on the lookout, and you have to be attentive, and that's what's going to earn you a tip. You know, if you're just kind of like, oh, la 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 la, I don't care, they can wait 5 minutes. No, you're not getting a tip. You know, there's just, you
Well,
know.
in all honesty, it's just like anything else. Like you get a job and you're trained to do it. You want to do it correctly so you can get promoted, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
If part of my job is to, like, if I rely on, let's just say my wage is $10 an hour plus
Uh-huh.
tips. So my tips can make me or break me every night. So if I want that extra money and I got to pay bills, or even if I just need extra spending money, I
Uh-huh.
want to make sure that what I'm doing is getting me that extra money.
Right.
I think that's, like, a good point on that, Jay. It's a lost art, because I think it's so misrepresented now, where it's just like an understood thing. Like, it's understood. You just give it to us. And then meanwhile, you've, brought the wrong food. I had to tell you
Mhm.
10 times what I wanted to drink, and then I had to ask you to
Mhm.
come over and fill my glass of water 10 times. So it's like,
Right.
Well, that's just like a promotion, like you said, Dave. It's again, these things are earned,
Mhm.
right? Raises are earned, promotions are earned, tips are earned, and I think
Mhm.
everybody has lost that. All right, so we're gonna try something new. Our new co-host Dave came up with this idea. We're gonna do a reflection period of opinions,
Mhm.
to close out the podcast. Dave, you go first.
well, my opinion is this. I think it should be more of a standardized thing, just because of the fact that the where society is today. It's just not. I don't think it's either one. It's not communicated properly, or two, it's just an expected and more of an entitlement. Where, I
Mhm.
don't have to do a good job, because to speak on the promotion thing. You got people coming into my work that go in their offices, their interviews, and they think right away they think they need a promotion because they just had a kid, but
Mhm.
they only been there for a year and a half. They don't have the experience. What am I giving you a promotion on? Because you had a
Mhm.
kid? That's
Mhm.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's so expected and entitlement anymore. I think it's just out of control and it needs to be a set standard, unless they plan on cracking down on it and straighten it out. But I don't see that happening, just the way things are.
Kris, your opinion time.
I think that they should get rid of tipping altogether and just pay a higher wage. And then you don't have to worry about it. And that just solves the problem altogether. Give the kids more money. Instead of paying them $10, $12 an hour, maybe pay them $20 and the tip is included, and they still have to do the job and they still have to live up to the standards that are required of them from the company and from themselves, earn the money. But I think they should get rid of tipping altogether. Sometimes you're going to leave a 10% tip. Sometimes you'll go to the same restaurant, you'll get a different server and you might leave a 20% tip and what's fair. So just make it standard across the board, raise the wages just a little bit, whatever that baseline is, and get rid of tipping altogether. That's I think they should. And I speak because I have experienced where that happened where I used to live. There was no tipping. So I've seen it from both sides, and tipping is just, it's a pain in the ass, quite frankly.
So my opinion is I believe it wasn't broke. I believe it wasn't broke in the old days when my father would put out a wad of money and say, you earned it. That made that waitress, every time we come back to the diner, treat us because they knew they were getting tipped. And in those days, if you didn't get tipped well, it was, I need to do better next time. And
Correct.
They usually did, which is the fair philosophy. I mean, again, Kris, not that your answer is wrong in any way, but, I don't feel as though helping society get away from the basic common sense of this person earned that, so I'm going to give them a tip because that goes to their family.
True.
Right?
No,
so
that's valid.
This is my opinion time. Yeah.
Land the plane, Jay. Let's land the plane.
So I think we just need to get back to old school and common sense. That's my opinion on it. Yep.
Okay. Well, now that we have all voiced our opinions, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you have any comments about tipping and customer service, please let us know. Drop us a line, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts and opinions, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Until then, keep it real, keep it safe, and we'll see you next week.
Go Birds.
Remember who you are. Go Flyers. Remember who you are. God,
remember
Kris.
who you are. Sorry. I know. I suck.
God, you suck. Like,
I know.
Little Colombian kid.
Thanks for listening to the show. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you next time on Three Friends and All the Things podcast. Real talk, real people. New episodes drop every week, so hit follow, leave a review, and tell your messiest friend to listen to. You know the one I'm talking about. Until next time, keep it real, keep it loud, and keep doing all the things.